Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Jake, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can create and utilize collections inside of your Shopify store. So collections are pretty much Shopify's version of categories that allow you to group together similar and related products inside of your store. And this is going to be really helpful for not only organization on your end, but also for customers that are on your store that are browsing your site. They're going to be able to find the products that they're looking for a lot more effectively if they're grouped into collections. So in this example here, we have 3 different product categories on this demo store. I have a bunch of snowboards here. We have 2 apparel products here, and then we have this one ebook right here. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we can create collections for all 3 of these different categories, and we're going to use different types of collections so I can show you how to use each one. And then I'm going to show you how you can add these collections to your navigation menu and how you can add these collections to be showcased inside of the home page of your theme, inside of the theme customizer. Before we get into the video, a quick plug for my Shopify apps. If you're looking to run live raffles and giveaways on your store, check out the Pine Raffle app, which allows you to create a giveaway in under 2 minutes. Giveaways are a great way to add excitement to your store, increase your average order value, and increase conversions by providing additional incentive to purchase. With the app, you can select any type of prize, such as a discount code, a free product, or a completely custom prize that you create. Or if you're looking to set up a complete wholesale program on your store, check out the Process Wholesale app, which allows you to offer discounted wholesale prices to customers that buy in bulk. Wholesale customers can apply for an account through a custom form. Once approved, they can shop for wholesale products either directly on the existing product pages or in a private wholesale area with a bulk order form, and only logged in wholesale customers will be able to see the discounted prices. So if you're looking to run giveaways or set up a wholesale program, check out Pine Raffle and Process Wholesale by clicking the links in the description. So with that said, let's get started with creating the collection here. So the first thing we need to do is head over here to collections. So we're going to open this up and we're going to click on create a collection. Now this first collection I'm going to create is going to be for all of these snowboards right here. So we're just going to give the collection a title, and then you can choose to give the collection a description if you want. And this description will show up if you were to make a specific page just for your collection. It would show up on the top. So if you are going to be using your collections in the form of individual pages on your store, then you'll want to put in a description. But if you're not going to do that, then you can just leave the description blank. And then we can choose to add an image for our collection. And this is going to be important to do because if you are going to be displaying your collection on the home page of your store, then the cover image that you select here is going to be the image that shows up when we insert the collection into our theme. And if we don't do that, then it's just going to default show the first product in that collection. So I'll add an image for this collection really quick. And now we can come down here to collection type, where we have 2 options. We can either have a manual collection, which is where we will add products manually to this collection one at a time, or an automated collection. And this means that existing and future products that match the conditions we set are automatically going to be added to this collection. So we can set conditions down here, so products must either match all these conditions or just one of these conditions. And then when we are setting conditions, we can create conditions based on a bunch of different aspects from the product here. So the title, the type, the category, the vendor, the tag, prices, compare at price, weight, stock, and the variant titles. And we can choose whether or not we want these conditions to be equal to this, or in certain cases if we want it to just contain. So if we were doing a product title, we can make it contain just say 1 word, for example. So when it comes to these conditions, the most common when used are probably going to be the product category and the product tags, because those are the easiest ones to use. So if a product has a certain tag, then it'll show up in a collection, or if a product is in a certain category, it will show up in a certain collection. So to show you what that looks like on the product page, if we come over here, we can see the product types right here. And if I were to open one of these snowboards up here, we can see we have the product category showing here as snowboards. And then we have the product tags, which are winter, sport, snowboard, accessory. So one of the most common ways of creating the automated collections is going to be setting it based off of this product category right here. So if we go back, we can see that what I did is I assigned the product category to all of these snowboards except this one, because I'm going to show you what this looks like when we assign it afterwards to an automated collection. So we're going to make this product category equal to snowboards in this case. So these are the 3 categories we have on our store, and we can add additional conditions if we wanted to. In this case, I won't, but if you wanted it to be a very specific collection and you wanted it to meet multiple conditions, this is where you can put those in. And I'm going to go ahead and save this collection now. And we can see here that now all of these products are showing that have the category of snowboards. But we'll see that this snowboard is not showing in this collection here. And that's because I didn't specify its category. And I did that purposely so I could show you that it will automatically fill in here once we do. So I'm going to specify this category now as snowboards. I'm going to save that, and now we can see that that's showing up over here. So after refreshing the collection here, we can see that now this multi-managed snowboard that wasn't in here before is now showing up in this automated collection. So that's going to be the benefit of setting up automated collections, is that once we set the conditions once, even if you had a bunch of new products later on, they're automatically going to be added. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to create another collection really quick. And this one's just going to be clothing. And let's say that this time, instead of using the category, we wanted to use a product tag. So we could open up this hoodie right here, and we could see that it doesn't have any tags, but let's say I wanted to give it the apparel tag. And let's say I wanted to do the same thing with the t-shirt, which already has the apparel tag in this case. Now all we'd have to do is go over here. So product tag is equal to, and we can select apparel right here. We can add the image for this section here. Click save, and this collection will be created. We can see both of our products right here. So collections are really easy to create no matter which one of these automated forms you're using. Lastly, I'll create one manually to show you what that looks like. So manual, this one will be ebooks, and I'm just going to not assign this one an image just for the sake of going quick. And as you can see, when you create a manual one here, we can actually browse our products, select a product, and add it into the collection, and we've added it in right here. So now we've went ahead and created 3 different collections. So now I want to show you how you can actually showcase these collections on your store, because they're not going to be too valuable unless customers can actually access them. So first off, you can actually view these collections by clicking on view right here, and we can see what this collection looks like. So we see snowboards, and then we have this right here. And if I were to type in something like testing text right here, we'll see that now this description text is showing up right here. So you can also put other things in your description. So if you were trying to customize this description page here, we have this full editor here, so you could insert a video, an image, a table, etc. if you were trying to make this look a little bit cooler. So let's say we wanted to insert this image on top just to see what that would look like. I could upload this cover image here to the top, give it some quick alt text. We can choose which size we want for the image. In this case, we'll go with a banner image. We'll insert it in, and I'll get rid of this text. And now I'll click on save, and we'll see what this looks like over here on the view page. So now we can see we have this cover image here. Now obviously it doesn't look ideal, but I was just showing you how you can use this description section. Now there's actually another way that we can edit the functionality of this as well, which I'll show you a little bit later. But I'm going to get rid of this image for now, and then just save this collection. So now I'm going to show you how we can add these collections to our navigation really quickly, and then we're going to get into editing the collections and showing them on our home page. So if we come down here to online store and we click on navigation here, we're going to click on our main menu, and we're going to add these to our home page. So you can see right now our home page menu just has home, catalog, and contacts. So I could add a menu item here and call it snowboards. And then we're going to search for collections here, and we're going to pick the snowboard collection, and we're going to add this link in. And now I'm going to do the same for the clothing collection, and we can add those in. And if I save those now, we can open up the online store, and we can see that these links are now showing up right here. But let's say we wanted them to show up in like a drop down, for example. So it could be something like browse by category, and then this would link to nothing. And we could add this in. We could drag this above the two collections here, and then we can drag these to the right. And now this is essentially part of a drop-down menu. So if I click on save, we come back over here, refresh. Now we have a section that's called browse by category, and then we can see our two categories here of snowboards and clothing. So this is going to come down to personal preference depending on how you want to display them on your navigation. If you only have a few categories, you can probably just put them in your menu normally, but if you have a bunch of different categories, then you probably want some different drop-downs. And maybe you have categories and then you have subcategories. So in that case, maybe you could have multiple drop downs or multi-level menus. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So that's going to be at the personal preference, but that's how you can set that up inside of the navigation. Now let's actually head over to the theme editor here. So we're going to go to online store and open up the customizer. And I'm going to show you how you can actually add these collections to your homepage. So we can see by default, most themes have this featured collection right here. So we can see that this featured collection is just, if we come down here to the collection, it's showing all products. But if I change this here, we can change. And let's say I just want it to show the snowboards, and I click select. We can see that now it is displaying the snowboards here on our home page. And no matter what theme you're using, they're all going to have the featured collection section. So this is the Dawn theme, but if you're using another one, this is going to be applicable as well. You can edit how this is viewed. So let's say we wanted to change the thing from featured products to snowboards. We can edit the heading size of this section here. We can choose how many products we want to show, the number of columns. Let's say we wanted to make it 3 columns instead. We could do that. We could change the maximum number of products to show in this collection, and then they can click on view all to see the rest of the collection. You can choose to make the products full width or not right there. We can choose our color scheme, etc. We can change our product images. We can choose whether or not we want to show the vendor on here, show the product rating, or enable a quick add to cart button within this collection section right here. So this is all going to come down to personal preference. And then we can choose our mobile layout as well. So if we were to like switch over to mobile, we can see that it's a 2 stack, but we could switch it and have it be a 1 stack right here. And I'll keep it at 2 for this for now. So that's the featured collections section. So that's one way we can display our collections on the home page. I'll save these changes real quick and I'll show you the other way. So if we add in a section right here and we click on collection list, this is going to be another way that we can display collections in our home page. So this is different. So the featured collection actually is displaying individual products within one collection, but the collection list is going to be displaying the actual collections themselves. So this is where the header image that we selected for the collections earlier is going to come into play. So we can choose here when editing the section itself. We can edit things like the title. So it could be like choose a category. We can edit the heading size and everything like we did before. We can choose how many columns we want to display. In this case, we have 3, and we have 3 collections, so that works out. But if you want to display more collections, you can do that. And now we can just edit the collection right here. So if we click on this first collection, all we have to do is select the collection. So we'll select snowboards, click select, and you can see that's where this photo is showing up right here. The next collection here is going to be clothing. Select, and then this last collection here is going to be the ebooks, which, as you can see, I didn't set an image for the ebooks, so it's showing an image of the first product in the collection like I mentioned earlier, and then we can click select. And if we had more than 3 collections, we could click on add collection right here and another one would show up, and you can really add as many as you want, but in this case we only have 3, so I'll leave it as 3. So that's how we can add our actual collection categories to our home page. So we can click on save right here. So we can either add the collection to our home page individually and display the contents of the collection, or we can actually showcase all of our collections on our home page right here. So the last part of editing collections is going to be the collection template themselves. So if we go up here and we click on collections, we have the default collection template right here. So we can see here by default, I'm going to change the preview to the snowboard one just because there's more of them. We can see here, this is the template that all of our collection pages are going to use when somebody views them. So we have the collection banner here, which contains the name of our collection. And then we can choose whether or not we want to show the collection description, which I went ahead and showed you earlier. And then we can choose whether or not we want to show the collection image. So if I show the collection image, we can see that this time, instead of showing the image down here, down below in the description, we can see that this image is now being shown up here in the top right next to the title instead. So that's another use of our collection image right here. And we can always change the color scheme of this top section as well. So that's another thing that's pretty common when it comes to designing your collection pages, is using a different color scheme for this top bit just to make it look a little bit better. So it just gives it a little bit of separation here. So let's say we just have this color scheme be like this black. And then down here in the template, our next section here is the product grid. So we can edit the product grid just like we did with the product grid on the home page. We can choose whether or not we want to enable a quick add button, whether we want to show a second image on hover, or whether we want to just display the initial image, whether we want to show vendor, all the same settings as before, how many products we want to display per page, and then how many columns, etc. Same thing down here with the 2 on 1 stack on mobile. And then we can also add additional sections to this template if we want. So we can see we can add in all of the same sections that you can add to the home page. So if there's other types of design elements that you want to add to your collection page, you can do that here. So let's say, for example, up here, you wanted to be a little bit more unique with your header. Instead of using this collection banner here, instead you could literally just make your own image banner. So for example, you could add in an image banner and you could drag that up here, and I could actually hide the collection banner, and like you can make the image banner say something like snowboards, and I could make this first image be the snowboards, for example. We can see that's in here. I could shrink the banner height to small. We can change the position of this content right here. In this case, you probably wouldn't need buttons since you're just using this as a label here. So we could get rid of these blocks right here. And we could also choose if we wanted to get rid of this container, for example, so we could just have it be this text color right here. So this would all be personal preference. You can come in here and change the colors just like you would before. And then, of course, you can take a look at the changes on mobile as well. So there's a lot of stuff you can do when you're customizing your collections, and it's definitely something that if you're going to have a lot of different categories on your store, and if categories are going to be something that you emphasize as part of the shopping experience, which is going to be pretty common with a lot of stores that have a lot of products, then I would recommend actually spending time setting up these templates right here. Now, one thing to note is that we have been editing this on the default collection template. So for example, if I were to save this and we were to go to the online store here, we would notice that if I were to go to clothing, for example, we can still see that the snowboards is showing up even though we just edited it on the snowboards page. And that's because this default collection template applied to everything. So if we wanted our template to be different, then we would need to create a different template. And let's say we'd only want this snowboards page to apply to the snowboards. I could create one called snowboards based on default right here. And now we can see that this is our collection right here. I'll change this to snowboards. And then what you can do is we can come back to collections and to the default collection. And I could turn the default collection back to normal. So I could get rid of the image banner, for example, show this again, click save. And now there's one other thing we have to do, because if we came over to our live store here, we can see that this would update But we can see this needs to update to the snowboard template right here. So we can see that this template is not been assigned yet. So if we come over to our collections and we open up the snowboard collection right here, we can see that it says theme template, and we have default collection right here. So we just want to assign this to the snowboards theme template. Click on save. So when we come back and refresh, we can now see the template that we just created for snowboards is now showing up on the snowboards collection, but it is not showing up on the clothing collection. So that's how you can utilize templates to make each of your individual collection pages look unique if you want to do that. So that's going to take a little bit more time, obviously creating a unique template for every single collection. So you're going to have to decide if you think that's worth it for you, or if you just want to edit your default collection to use the collection banner with the collection image and just keep it simple like that. So that's going to come down to personal preference. But I wanted to show you everything that you can possibly do when it comes to setting up collections inside of your Shopify store. So with that said, that is the complete tutorial on how you can set up and use collections inside of your Shopify store. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more videos, and I will see you guys in another one.